The message came at 6:42 p.m., just 18 minutes before my parents' anniversary dinner. You shouldn't come tonight. It might be uncomfortable. I stared at my phone, rereading my mother's words over and over like they might change if I blinked hard enough. My chest felt tight, like someone had wrapped a wire around it and started pulling. I had spent weeks helping her plan this dinner, choosing the caterer, arranging the seating, even paying the deposit when she said she was a little short this month. And now, I wasn't welcome. Because I told her I was broke. 2 days earlier, I sat across from my husband Daniel at our kitchen table, the same table we bought secondhand when we had nothing but hope and debt. The sunlight was coming through the window, soft and warm, but the conversation we were having felt anything but. I sold the farm, I told him quietly. He didn't react right away. He just looked at me, really looked at me, like he was trying to see past my words. For how much? He asked. 10.5 million. The number hung in the air like something fragile and dangerous. Daniel leaned back slowly, exhaling. You did it. 20 years. 20 years of waking up before sunrise, of cracked hands and aching backs, of failed crops and near bankruptcy and starting over again and again. That farm wasn't just land, it was my life. And now it was gone. Sold. Converted into a number so big it didn't feel real. I should tell my family, I said. That's when Daniel's expression changed. Not fear, not even concern, certainty. No, he said. I frowned. What do you mean, no? He leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. Tell them you lost everything. I blinked. What? Tell them you went bankrupt. I let out a small, confused laugh. Why would I do that? Daniel didn't smile. Because, he said softly, I already know what they'll do. I didn't want to believe him. I grew up believing family was everything. Even when my parents borrowed money they never paid back. Even when my sister Laura treated me like a backup plan instead of a person. Even when I was the one they called every time something went wrong. I told myself that's what family does, they lean on each other. I just didn't realize I was the only one holding the weight. Still, Daniel's words stayed with me. So the next day, I called my mom. I need to tell you something, I said, forcing my voice to stay steady. The farm, it didn't work out. There was a pause. What do you mean, she asked. I had to sell it. I'm basically starting over. Another pause. Longer this time. Oh, she said. Not are you okay? Not what happened, just, oh. I might need some time to get back on my feet, I added, my heart pounding. Things are a little tight right now. Her tone shifted instantly. Well, she said. You should have been more careful. The words hit harder than I expected. I did everything I could. You've always been too risky, she cut in. I told you that farm was a gamble. I swallowed. I made it work for 20 years. And now it's gone, she replied sharply. So clearly I was right. I sat there in silence, my throat burning. Well, she continued, her voice turning colder, we can't support you, if that's what you're implying. Your father and I have our own expenses. I didn't ask for money, I whispered. Good, she said. Because we don't have any to spare. Then she changed the subject. So, about the anniversary dinner, you'll still come, right? Just don't bring any negativity. Negativity. That's what my life had become to her in less than 60 seconds. The first red flag wasn't even what she said. It was how quickly she said it. No hesitation. No concern. No love. Just judgment. But I still wasn't ready to accept what Daniel was trying to show me. Not yet. The next call was to my sister Laura. She picked up on the second ring. Hey. Did Mom tell you about the seating plan? She said excitedly. Laura, I said, my voice quieter now, I need to tell you something first. I told her the same story. The silence on the other end felt heavier this time. Wow, she finally said. Yeah. That's Really bad. I know. Another pause. So what are you going to do? She asked. I'm figuring it out. Okay, but you're not going to ask me for money, right? She added quickly. The question hit me like a slap. No, I said. Good, she sighed in relief. Because I just bought a new car, and things are kind of tight. Of course they were. I understand, I said quietly. And honestly, she continued, you should have seen this coming. Farming? In this economy? It's kind of naive. 20 years of blood, sweat, and survival reduced to one word. Anyway, she added, her tone suddenly lighter, just don't make things awkward at dinner, okay? Mom's really stressed. I won't, I said. But something inside me was already starting to crack. Within hours, the family group chat lit up. At first, it was subtle. Hope you're okay. Things happen. But then, it shifted. Maybe you should have listened to Dad. You always thought you knew better. Don't expect anyone to bail you out. One message stood out more than the rest. Everyone, please don't lend her money. She needs to learn responsibility. My own mother. Saying that. Publicly. To the entire family. That's when it stopped being subtle. That's when it became a tribunal. By the next morning, Laura had blocked my number. No explanation, no message. Just gone. And then came the final blow. The text I couldn't stop staring at. You shouldn't come tonight. Uninvited. From a dinner I helped plan. From a family I helped support. Because I was no longer useful. I showed Daniel the message. He didn't look surprised. I told you, he said gently. I felt something break inside me then, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, like a thread snapping after being stretched too far. They didn't even ask if I was okay, I said. I know. They just dropped me. I know. I looked at him, my eyes burning. Was I really just their ATM? He didn't answer. He didn't need to. That was the moment everything became clear. Every emergency loan. Every last-minute bill I covered. Every time they called me successful with a smile that never reached their eyes. It was never about me. It was about what I could give. And the second they thought I had nothing left, they threw me away. I wiped my tears, took a deep breath, and did something I never thought I would do. I'm going to that dinner, I said. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Are you sure? I nodded slowly. But not as the person they think I am. That night, I walked into the restaurant anyway. 40 guests. Laughter. Champagne glasses clinking. My mother stood near the center, smiling like nothing in the world could touch her. Until she saw me. Her smile faltered. What are you doing here? She hissed as I approached. I was invited, I said calmly. I told you not to come. I know. People were starting to notice. Laura stood across the room, her eyes narrowing when she saw me. She has no shame, she muttered loudly enough for others to hear. I felt the old me, the one who would shrink, apologize, and leave quietly trying to surface. But I didn't let her. Instead, I walked straight to the microphone. The same one my mother had planned to use for her speech. What are you doing? She demanded. I turned to face the room. I just wanted to say a few words, I said. The chatter died down. 40 pairs of eyes turned toward me. My heart was pounding, but my voice didn't shake. For 20 years, I began. I built something from nothing. I paused. And 2 days ago, I sold it. A murmur rippled through the room. My mother's face tightened. I told my family I went bankrupt, I continued, my gaze steady. I wanted to see who would stand by me when I had nothing left. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. And within 24 hours, I said, I was uninvited from this dinner. Blocked. Publicly humiliated. I let the words settle. Not one person asked if I was okay. Laura shifted uncomfortably. My mother's lips pressed into a thin line. "And here's the truth," I said, my voice soft but clear. "I didn't lose everything." I reached into my bag and pulled out a folder. "I sold my farm for $10.5 million. The room exploded. Gasps. Whispers. Shock. My mother's face drained of color. Laura's mouth fell open. "But this," I said, holding up the folder, "isn't the real point." I looked directly at them. "The real point is, I finally see you." The room went quiet again. Every time you needed help, I was there. Every time you called, I answered. And the moment you thought I couldn't give anymore, you threw me away. My voice broke slightly, but I didn't stop. "So tonight isn't about revenge," I said. "It's about freedom." I placed the folder on the table. "I'm done being your backup plan. Your safety net. Your ATM." No one moved. No one spoke. "I hope this dinner is everything you wanted," I said softly. Then I turned around and walked out. The messages started before I even got to the car. "I didn't know. You misunderstood. We were just worried." But for the first time in my life, I didn't reply. A week later, my mother called. I let it ring. Laura sent a long apology. I didn't open it because the truth was, I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. I took that money and started something new. Not a farm, not a business for them to depend on, but a life that belonged to me. And for the first time in 20 years, it felt like mine. Completely. They didn't lose me because I went broke. They lost me because I finally saw my worth. And once you see that, you can't unsee it.